bad, Darnell. You're not a spitting cobra. Stop. You're not a spitting cobra. Why are you trying to spit?
The absolutely beautiful red-headed Krait.
Can you stop? Can you please stop? Kobe. What is up, my fellow humans? Today we're going to be cleaning out a bunch of our snake enclosures. We're going to take a closer look at some of our rarer and cooler animals that we have. So let's get right into it. First up, we're going to take out John Cena, our Mangshan viper here. So let's go ahead and get him out. Whoa! A little bit feisty there, John. There are only an estimated 500 individuals left in the wild, which is kind of crazy to think about here. Let's go ahead and get him out here. We can see the beautiful snake here. Put him right here so you guys can get a nice close look at him here. Look at him in his beautiful glory here. Obviously a bright green viper here. Nice camouflage colored. And they are absolutely stunning animals. So let's go ahead and we're going to put him inside this trash can that he's on so that we can safely clean out his enclosure. You can tell that he's finished shedding his head here and a little bit on the sides of his body and tail, but a lot of him, it still needs to finish shedding. So we're going to go ahead and get him in this bucket, get his enclosure cleaned out, and then we're going to spray it down pretty nicely for him. There you go, bud. Go ahead and close the bucket on him here. He's just going to chill in there while we get to work. Alrighty, we've got a nice fresh bowl of water there and a freshly cleaned out and sprayed down enclosure. So we're going to go ahead and get him back inside. There's John. Alrighty. Alright, buddy. Let's just get you back inside here since you're clearly not having a fantastic time. Let's go ahead and get you back inside here. He's a little bit defensive, but that's okay. Come on, bud. Why are you such a weirdo? He's always so weird. There you go. There you go. And you can see his nice caudal lure here. This brightly colored tail. They use this to lure in their prey. And there he goes.
Now we're going to go ahead and take out our absolutely beautiful red-headed Krait. It is time for her health checkup. We finally got her by her beautiful tail, so let's slowly take her out of her enclosure. We want to make sure not to stress her out too much or to hurt her, of course, but she is looking beautiful even though she is a little bit dull. It looks like she may be going into shed. But besides that, she looks and seems to be acting completely normally, and she has a good body weight as well, which is nice. Let's go ahead and flip her over and take a look at her underside and make sure she's all good in that department. And unfortunately, we do have a little bit of scale rot here on the bottom of her, just a little bit, so we will have to attack that issue and treat her. But besides that, she is looking good, and she is acting very normally. She's acting curious, and she still has a lot of energy, so no real health problems besides that, but we will go ahead and reduce the moisture in her enclosure and treat her accordingly, of course, because we want to keep her alive. God, she really is beautiful. That bright orange head, even though she is going into shed, you can still see those bright and beautiful colors on both her head and, of course, her bright, beautiful orange tail as well. Just think how beautiful she'll be after she finishes.
So Kraity Perry is deciding to be pretty difficult here, but I think we can finally get her in. She's hooking herself on the edge of the trash can here on the little handle on the side. To make sure there we go, finally, girl, can we let go please? Thank you. All right. And there we go. All right, so we made a couple modifications to her enclosure. We went ahead and put the glass back in, cleaned out all the shed skin and gave her some fresh water, but we did add a very, very thick layer of paper towels as the base under her main hide area where she spends 90% of her time. So that should help keep it a little bit drier where she's at. So hopefully the humidity in the enclosure will still be quite high, but the
the water that she's in contact, the moisture that she's in contact will hopefully decrease dramatically. So hopefully that helps with the scale rot. And then we're gonna look into getting some active treatment towards that as well. But let's go ahead, get her out and get her all squared away right here. Hello, sweetheart. Sorry for stressing you out today. I'm really glad we ended up taking her out to take a look at her. So hopefully we were able to catch that scale rot before it gets too bad. It is a little bit worse than I would have liked, but definitely no worse than an average imported snake anyways. But if you were to take a look here, you could see a couple little patches on her belly there, just a couple little patches of scale rot, two of them being worth noting there, the one by my finger and the one by the base of her tail there. But let's go ahead and get this beautiful girl put back in her enclosure. She stands up really cool right now, actually. Hey, sweetheart. You are super cool, you know that? Well, let's go ahead and put her back now. Absolutely beautiful. All right, sweetheart. Hopefully you get better. That is the goal. So now we're going to do Technoblade here, our Batwing rattlesnake. Let's go ahead and get him out so that we can clean out his enclosure. He left a couple of really nice, what do you call it, turds in the enclosure, so we're going to get those out. My hook work is sloppy today. We're going to try and double hook him to get him out here. It's the safest method so that we hopefully don't drop him. Hey, buddy. And here he is, Technoblade, our Batwing rattlesnake. Of course, a Batwing rattlesnake is an eastern diamondback and timber rattlesnake hybrid. These have actually been found in the wild, so this is a naturally occurring hybrid. But a beautiful snake for sure, and definitely not one you want to get bit by. These guys can actually get upwards of 6, even 7 feet in length, so they are potentially the longest rattlesnake on the planet, right up there with the eastern diamondback themselves, which I believe the record is around 8 feet for. And let me grab my paper towels here. All right, paper towels have been acquired, so let's go ahead and get this. Oh, that's good stuff. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and throw this away. We don't want that anymore. Oh, good. We got the double coil. We got the double coil. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, sir. Hello there. Hello there. Go ahead and slip him in here, just like that. So let's go ahead and move on to, let's do the Brazilian lancehead next. All right, where's this guy at? Where's this guy at over here? Come in closer, come in closer. Ooh, he's hiding all the way in the back here. Hello? No, I already have an extended warranty, thank you. Some people, am I right? So lanceheads are commonly referred to as fer-de-lances throughout Central and South America. This is technically the Brazilian lancehead. And these guys can get up to 7+ feet in length. Appreciate you holding on by your tail there. You can see my instinct was to try and catch him, but I caught myself, which is something you need to learn to do if you start working with venomous snakes, because if you try to catch it on the way down, it's going to catch you, and that could be what I like to call a slight issue. If you're wondering, hey Joey, why aren't you using a paper towel? Why are you touching it with your hands? Well, it's because I'm a freak. Now that we've completed cleaning out the lancehead enclosure, we can put her back. Hello there.
the lancehead is anchored. These guys are one of the most unpredictable vipers out there. Lanceheads and Russell vipers are very, very fast moving, very, very quick snakes that can change their direction and fly at you in a blink of an eye. They are one of the only vipers that can do that, or at least that chooses to do that frequently. Most vipers are pretty calm, pretty laid back. They'll sit there, they'll act defensively, but these guys, flick of a switch, they become a heat-sinking missile. You gotta be careful with them. There's no doubt about that. So, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to Darnell here. So let's get him out next. Hello. Hello. What do you think you're doing? What are you doing, Darnell? Where are you going, bud? No, that's Sarah. We don't hurt Sarah, okay? We don't mess with the camera girl. We like her here. She's doing this for free. And by free I mean I pay all of her expenses, but for free. All right, Darnell. Let's put you in here before you act a fool. You wanna ride a little? Oh. Darnell, why would you do that? Alrighty, let's go ahead and fill that bad boy up. They get tap water. They don't get Fiji water. They're not at that level yet. Kobe. And let's go ahead and get Darnell out. Alrighty. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? No, bad, Darnell. You're not a spitting cobra. Stop. You're not a spitting cobra. Why are you trying to spit? It makes no sense. You don't make any sense. But you're being very cringe. You know that? You're being very cringe, Darnell. Please. Please. Sit. Sit. Good dog. Good. Alright, so here's Darnell. Here's a better look at him. This is our Lucistic monocled cobra. That's what makes him solid white. It's kind of similar to being albino, but it just gets rid of all that coloration, makes them completely and utterly solid white. What are you doing? Why are you being weird? He's a weird snake. He's a weird cobra. He's not very aggro, and he very rarely hoods up like he's doing here. He's about to drop. Let's go ahead and throw him on the hook, and let's just put him away. He clearly doesn't want to play right now, so let's get him back in his enclosure here. Alright, so that is most of the snakes down, except for, guess what? We got one more left. So it's time to get out Shelby now. We're going to clean out Shelby's enclosure. So let's go ahead and get Shelby out. We're going to go ahead and get this trash can all ready. Of course, we're going to move our computer monitor out of the way here. There's no reason for us to have a computer monitor blocking Shelby's enclosure. Let's just set that down over here. That's a good place for it. There's our key. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Let's go ahead and get her out. Come on. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Hello, sweetie. So this is Shelby. She's our nearly 2-year-old Indonesian king cobra, captive bred here in the United States. And she's pretty sweet for a female king cobra. She's pretty easy to work with. She is thinking about flying out a little bit here, but that's okay. We're not going to let her do that. Oh, she's growling at us. She's growling at us. Okay. Here we go. Here's our girl. All right, so here is Shelby, our 2-year-old Indonesian king cobra. She's looking absolutely gorgeous right now. She's looking nice and healthy. We've got her feeding on snakes, just like she would be eating in the wild, is snakes, of course. That's why she's got that nice lean musculature. So let's go ahead and put her in the snake holding trash can here. Where do you think you're going? What are you? What? No. No, you need to go in the trash can. I think you're mistaken here. I think you don't understand, but you do, no, you need to go, you just need to just in the can would be good. You can see her doing a nice defensive display here. She's got her hood all the way out and she's growling. I don't know if you heard that, but she was doing a little bit of a king cobra growl there that they are so famous for. She does normally do that when she's eating. However, she doesn't usually do that defensively. She's just a little bit annoyed right now, it would seem. She wants to be back in her home, but that's okay. We're just gonna clean it out for her, and then she's gonna go right back in there. So she'll be fine, and hopefully she enjoys her new cleaner enclosure, if you're not gonna be too mean. But she's looking really healthy, really nice and thick, but still lean. And that's because she's eating snakes instead of rats. A lot of people feed their king cobras rats, and that just makes them a little bit more overweight. Rats have a much higher fat content than snakes do, so that is why you see a lot of thicker king cobras in captivity than you do in the wild. And it's got some wood chips attached to it, but we do have a nice full king cobra skin here. The head's a little messed up, but we do have the full head. And their head is so cool. If you look at the scales on that head there, king cobras have such big and so few scales on their head. They are very, very unique in that. Not a lot of snakes have that kind of scalation on their head. We've got a nice king cobra shed here. It's a good, almost 6 feet long. She's over 6 feet long, so I'm surprised it's not longer, but she's definitely over. Oh, that's why, because the tail is, one, scrunched up, and two, incomplete. It basically stops at the vent there, also known as the cloaca. So we're missing probably close to a foot there, but we'll go ahead and we'll save this. I'm sure someone would want it probably, so we'll just toss that aside for now. Please remember that you should not get any of the snakes you see in these videos as a pet unless you are very qualified to do so. And by that I mean you have a lot of experience with snakes. I'm not saying that I'm more qualified than some people to keep these, but I definitely have a lot more experience with a lot more different species than a lot of people do. So please don't go out and buy a venomous snake just because you see me have one here and you think it's cool. It definitely is cool, but it's not something that's worth risking your life for kind of cool. Don't go out and get something just because you want people to think you're cool, just because you want to seem cool. Get something because you genuinely enjoy working with it, because you want to learn from it, you want to gain experience from it. That's why you should get a pet. That's why you should get an animal. Get something you're interested in and ready to own as a pet. She is big enough to have wedged herself at the top, so we're going to open this very cautiously. And she's at the bottom, so we are fine. All right, guys, we got Shelby in the bucket. Let's go ahead and put her back in her enclosure here. We went ahead and gave it a full clean out, as you guys saw. And here she is, our beautiful king cobra. She's a little bit annoyed right now, but not too bad. Like I said before, she is not a bad king cobra to work with. But she is still a king cobra, so she is still much more intelligent, much more agile, and much more quick moving than most of the other snakes that we do work with here. So we do need to be on guard. We do need to be aware of what's going on here. But she is definitely behaving. You can see she's getting nice and thick. You can see, look at her body there. She is nice and healthy. She's still digesting that last ball python that we fed her recently. Hello, girl. Are you looking at me like you want to kill me? Yes, you are. Ooh, there's a nice growl. There's a nice growl. Let's go ahead and put you down here. Let's go ahead and put you there. Come on now. You think I didn't know you were trying to slide out from my hook there? I knew you were doing that. I knew you were doing that. Let's go ahead and slowly go ahead and get a hook by her head here so that we can move aside, grab her tail, whip around, and let's put her in her enclosure here just like that. It's just that simple. She's going in her little hide there. And there she goes. One day she's going to be big and strong, and she's going to be eating Burmese pythons. Can you believe that? She's going to be eating Burmese pythons. That is crazy. We're going to have to get those from the Everglades probably, because that's the most humane way to do it, obviously. But let's go ahead and lock this up, and that will end things off for today. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you had an enjoyable time today. If you didn't, then I apologize. I'm sorry. I actually don't care. You should just leave now. But if you liked it, then subscribe, or you're lame.